Mr. Speaker, sir, I stand in support of the budget presented by Prime Minister and Finance Minister Mr. Lawrence Wong. The budget builds upon past budgets, providing immediate support for today's challenges, investing in our growth, and securing Singapore's long-term future while maintaining fiscal prudence. Mr. Speaker, in my speech on the budget, I would like to focus on three key things. Firstly, let's take a moment to reflect on the fact that this is the first budget by our new Prime Minister, Mr. Lawrence Wong, and the 4G leadership. The fact that it has gone smoothly with no distractions is no easy feat. Secondly, this smooth transition must not be taken for granted. Political stability has been the cornerstone of Singapore's success, shaping our economic growth, social policies, and diplomatic standing. It is our secret sauce, the ability to plan, think, and most importantly, execute for the long term while still tackling the challenges of today. And thirdly, as we plan for the future while tackling today's challenges, we must stay engaged, listen actively, and adapt swiftly. Understanding the pulse of our people is key, ensuring that we refine our approaches, improve our policies, and respond effectively to evolving needs. Mr. Speaker, let's take a moment to acknowledge and appreciate the smooth, stable, and well-planned leadership transition, often a rarity in many parts of the world. With deep respect and gratitude, we recognize the seamless handover of leadership from Senior Minister Lee Hsien Loong to Prime Minister Lawrence Wong. The transition reflects the hallmark of Singapore's governance: continuity, foresight, and stability. If we look at the world around us, Singapore's political stability and mature leadership transition is an anomaly. Many nations struggle with uncertain transitions, political instability, and abrupt policy U-turns, leading to wasted investments, stalled progress, and loss of public trust. Take, for example, the United States saw political turmoil during the 2020 transition, culminating in the January 6 Capitol riot and repeated policy U-turns across administrations. Some Asian countries experienced drastic shifts in economic and diplomatic policies with each new leader, causing instability. In just 3 months, one Asian country has seen a president and an acting president impeached. The United Kingdom continues to face instability with frequent leadership changes leading to uncertainty in trade, immigration, and economic policies, particularly post-Brexit. Even within ASEAN, repeated leadership changes have resulted in policy reversals, such as the abolition and reintroduction of GST, causing economic uncertainty and deterring long-term investments. By contrast, Mr. Speaker, sir, Singapore has shown that leadership transition can be done right. Our careful, deliberate succession planning ensures continuity in governance, preserving our progress while allowing for necessary evolution. We express our deepest appreciation to Senior Minister Lee Hsien Loong for his decades of steadfast leadership. We also extend our full support for Prime Minister Lawrence Wong and the 4G leadership team as they take on the responsibility of steering Singapore into the future. Mr. Speaker, sir, as we celebrate 60 years of independence, it is timely to reflect on the foundation of Singapore's success, our political stability. This stability has been the bedrock of our economic growth, our social policies, and diplomatic standing. It allows us to focus on long-term plans while tackling today's challenges, even amidst geopolitical tensions and economic uncertainty. It is something that we must protect and strengthen to uphold the values that have guided our progress. Hence, Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased that this budget reflects this continuity and consistency. It builds on the past budgets while adapting to new challenges, reinforces our commitment to a resilient and forward-looking Singapore. In an era where countries are turning inwards, onshoring businesses, and shifting away from global collaboration, Singapore must stay ahead. The budget continues our investments in enhancing our global competitiveness, ensuring Singapore remains a top destination for businesses and investors, upskilling our workforce with the skills of tomorrow, investing in innovation and technology, especially in AI, which was explained in great details by DPM Hing, and investment in infrastructure to support long-term growth, in particular, the Changi Airport Development Fund and Future Energy Fund. This budget sets aside an additional $5 billion for the Changi Airport Development Fund. reinforcing the importance of our ports and airports as strategic national assets. Developing Singapore into a leading air hub requires more than expanding our airport capacity. As regional airports modernize rapidly, we must scale productivity, enhance global connectivity, and strengthen Singapore's position as a premier travel and business hub. Beyond the airport, our broader air hub ecosystem must grow in tandem. Industries such as aerospace MRO, logistics, and airside services are critical in keeping Singapore competitive. Their growth requires a coordinated strategy, aligning infrastructure expansion, workforce readiness, sustainability strategy, and industry development. We must also strengthen collaboration among key ecosystem players, such as SIA, Changi Airport Group, the Singapore Tourism Board, and the hospitality sector, to enhance Singapore's value proposition as an air hub. Dubai provides a strong example where its airline, tourism, and airport operator are strategically aligned to position the city as a premier travel destination. Furthermore, as Changi Airport continues to expand, how can we optimize urban planning and resource allocation in our east and northeast areas like the Loyang Industrial Estate, Changi Business Park, Pasir Ris, Punggol, in particular Punggol Digital District, and Seletar, to reinforce growth and strengthen Singapore's overall aviation sector? What is the government's long-term roadmap to integrate these elements and ensure Singapore's air hub competitiveness is sustained into the future? This budget also allocates $5 billion top-up for the Energy Fund, reinforcing our commitment to securing a low-carbon, sustainable, and safe energy future. This is not just an investment in technology. It is an investment in energy security, economic resilience, and environmental responsibility. The key question is, how will this fund be used to deepen our understanding of alternative energy feasibility for Singapore? To make real progress, we need to strengthen research efforts to assess viable alternative energy sources, ensure regulatory readiness, preparing Singapore to govern and implement new energy solutions, build a strong talent pipeline, equipping Singaporeans with the expertise needed for this transition, engage with international partners to accelerate learning and preparedness, ensuring we lead rather than follow. More importantly, we must move with urgency, from technology exploration to pilot programs and ultimately to full-scale industrial deployment. How do we ensure that Singapore transitions at pace and does not lag behind? I look forward to hearing more about the whole-of-nation approach to developing Singapore as a leading air hub and the details of the future energy fund during the COS debates. Thirdly, as we plan for the future, we must stay engaged, listen actively, and remain adaptable to solve today's problems. It is essential to understand the pulse of our people, refine our approaches, and continuously improve our policies, ensuring that we build a stronger, better future together. A good example of this is the cost of living support through the USAVE, SNCC rebates, climate vouchers, MediSave, EduSave top-ups, and SG60 vouchers, which provides much-needed relief. Some Pasir Ris residents suggested receiving CDC vouchers in cash for greater flexibility, including overseas spending. However, the CDC voucher system is well refined, helping Singaporeans while also boosting local businesses, especially our smaller neighborhood shops. Our stallholders, such as Mrs. Wee and Eric at Pasir Ris Drive 4 and 6 wet markets, have shared that they've seen their business increase during voucher disbursements. Keeping spending local ensures that support reaches Singaporeans while strengthening small businesses and hawkers, a vital part of our community and economy. In my 2022 speech on the White Paper on Women's Development, I shared the story of Madam Neo, a Pasir Ris resident caring for her bedridden husband. I called for a further increase in the home caregiving grant to better support caregivers, and I'm glad that since then, the grant has been raised from 200 to 400 and now to 600, providing much-needed relief for caregivers like Madam Neo. The budget reaffirms the government's commitment to building a Singapore made for families with stronger support for vulnerable families, seniors, and persons with disabilities. Measures such as the enhanced Fresh Start housing scheme, higher Comcare rates, and initiatives to help seniors age well are welcome steps. However, retirement adequacy remains a concern, particularly for seniors with insufficient CPF savings. While the lease buyback scheme is an option for senior homeowners, Should we lower Comcare eligibility requirements for seniors with no assets, especially those whose children are also struggling financially? On persons with disability, extending the enabling employment credit to 2028 helps offset hiring costs. But are we truly moving the needle on employment opportunities for those with special needs? This ties into workforce transformation efforts. While SkillsFuture grants support workforce upskilling and senior employment credit incentivizes hiring older workers, workforce transformation remains slow in hiring seniors and persons with disabilities. How do we move beyond incentives to truly shift workplace culture? Should stronger regulatory measures be even considered? What more can be done to ensure employment inclusivity is not just a policy goal, but a reality for all Singaporeans? Mr. Speaker, allow me to give my conclusion and end my speech in Malay. Belanjawan ini membina asas dasar-dasar terdahulu, memberikan sokongan segera kepada cabaran hari ini, melabur dalam pertumbuhan negara dan memastikan masa depan Singapura yang mampan sambil mengekalkan disiplin fiskal. Namun, di sebalik grant, skim dan voucher yang diperkenalkan, terdapat 3 perkara penting yang perlu kita renungkan. Yang pertama, inilah belanjawan pertama di bawah kepimpinan baru Perdana Menteri Lawrence Wong dan pasukan kepimpinan 4G. Peralihan kepimpinan telah berjalan dengan lancar. Ini adalah satu pencapaian yang tidak mudah dicapai, apalagi bila kita memerhatikan situasi di negara asing, termasuk Amerika Syarikat. Kedua, kepentingan kestabilan politik untuk kemajuan Singapura. Banyak negara mengalami peralihan kepimpinan yang bergolak, menyebabkan ketidaktentuan, ketidakstabilan politik serta pelaburan yang sia-sia. Akhirnya, yang menanggung kesannya adalah rakyat. Kestabilan politik adalah tonggak kejayaan Singapura yang membentuk pertumbuhan ekonomi, dasar sosial dan kedudukan diplomatik kita. Kemampuan untuk merancang, berfikir dan yang paling penting lagi, melaksanakan untuk jangka panjang sambil menangani cabaran semasa adalah rahsia kejayaan kita dan kita mesti melindunginya untuk masa hadapan anak-anak kita. Terakhir sekali, kita mesti bersedia untuk masa depan dengan pendekatan yang fleksibel. Dalam merancang masa depan, kita perlu terus mendengar, memahami kehendak rakyat dan menyesuaikan dasar dengan pantas. Rakyat, pemimpin dan perusahaan mesti bekerjasama untuk terus memperhalusi dan menambah baik dasar supaya dapat membentuk Singapura yang lebih kukuh serta berdaya tahan. Hanya dengan kesatuan dan kecekapan dalam kepimpinan, kita dapat terus maju sebagai sebuah negara yang stabil dan berjaya. Majulah Singapura. Terima kasih, Tuan Speaker.